Steve, can you give us your verdict on how you played and how you're feeling after that result, please?
I think feeling that the team's making progress, feeling that I think we're certainly learning very quickly, but it shows that we've still got a lot to do. Given we got into those 2 winning positions, it says we're not too far away, but we've got to be able to convert them into wins. And so pride in the players, pride in the team, and also excitement about what I think this team is capable of in the future.
Jamie, can you try and explain the sequence of events at the end from your perspective and how close you came to taking something out of that game?
Yeah, I was just really proud of the players' effort to stay in it. I'm not sure that there are that many teams that try and take on the All Blacks like we did in the latter part of that game. In terms of what happened, hard to put my finger on really. I'm reluctant to say too much here now, but there's frustration around it for sure. I think if you use the TMO, then there's probably opportunities to see all sorts going on in there.
Did you ground the ball?
The ball was short of the line, and the ball was on the floor. So for me, again, the game needs to play on at that stage.
Steve, there's been a few now. Obviously, you had the Ireland victory, but there's been a few tie defeats. So what's the key to kind of for the future to get over the line in these tight ones?
Yeah, I think from this we'll be going and looking really closely at that and how kind of 55, 60 you're in a winning position and then not converting. I think there's a few things we'll consider. What I will say right now is you can't accelerate the experiences, and whilst there's the man next to me who's been in those positions a lot, been in test matches so many times now, there's a lot of young men in there who haven't, and you look at that New Zealand team when they're bringing on Bowden Barrett, the impact he has had in that last 20 minutes in both of these 2 test matches. One of the world's best players is phenomenal. For us, you know, we're on average a couple of years younger, even with Dan Cole in our squad, and a few hundred caps short of them. What I need to do as coach is accelerate the learning of the team to close that gap as quickly as possible.
Steve, Jamie, Bowden turned the game back in the All Blacks' favour?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Did you feel Bowden turned the game back in the All Blacks' favour when he came on with his influence?
I think he had a significant influence upon the game. I think everybody could see that, the way he dealt with some pretty tricky situations in his own 22 and ended up putting New Zealand in a pretty favourable field position in a number of times, as well as his distribution and threat in that wider channel. Now, what we look at is how we allowed that, what we could do differently. But I think there was so much that the team did well tonight, and I think what you can see is the team relishes a challenge, led by the man next to me. The team really relishes the challenge, and they relished that tonight.
Steve, I appreciate you may not have had a full medical report just yet, but how's Theo and Freddie?
They both following our HIA protocols. Chatting with Theo, he seemed pretty well. He spoke to him, seemed pretty well. Fred's left to go back to the hotel early to help his recovery.
Steve, could I just ask what the decision around changing 10 when you did, and sort of what was the thinking behind that, what you hoped to get out of it?
Yeah, I think we've got 10s with great strengths, and felt at that point in time that change was important to us. What Finn can bring on, and a different problem for New Zealand to have to face at that point in time. As it turned out, Mark was back on very quickly at 15, which was one of the permutations we were considering at the time. And clearly, you look at that. There was the man next to me had to do a lot of work. He went off for about 30 seconds before you were back on.
It's a quick U-turn, yeah.
So I think a number of those changes were, we weren't necessarily having the fresh legs that we always thought we were necessarily going to have, and I think you need that against a team as good as New Zealand.
Jamie, you've talked a lot about the sort of journey the team's on and development. Obviously, this is the end now of a long season. What do you hope comes when you next play in November, and what levels do you want to see grow in the team?
Well, the big message for me is that we never start from zero again. I spoke in the week about the journey that the team's been on, where we've come from throughout this pretty long season to where we are now. I'm very proud of all the work that's gone in, across the board really. And I said it outside to the boys now, we've got a great opportunity. It's important for us to rest, but also make sure that, in the back of our minds, we've got a great opportunity when we next come together as the All Blacks at Twickenham, and that's a hugely exciting prospect.
Steve, do you relish that prospect yourself? Fresher legs perhaps in November at your home ground?
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to working with the players again. I think right now it's been a big 13 months or so for everybody involved. The players, especially the players centrally, they need their regeneration time now, and everybody, the coaching team, the management team, also been going for a good while now. Since you guys have been going for a good while, I'm sure you're looking forward to a break as well. The main thing is, if you look at this, I think a lot of people were saying after the first test that New Zealand were going to get so much better, and I was being told by people in the street about 10 times a day how much we were going to get blown away at Eden Park. I was stopped on the street yesterday by a gentleman who told me that they'd unpicked our rush defence. They knew how they were going to beat it, and they were going to deliver that. I said, okay, thank you for that. And kind of left. I was told in the lift today that it was a privilege for us to play at Eden Park, and we'd be lucky if we got away with less than 50 points conceded. The guy told me in the lift today. And when the team ends up being just kept coming at New Zealand today, and just kept fighting. And when the team went down 24-17, I think it was there, and then some teams wouldn't have come out. What these guys did was get back to that New Zealand line and go hard to get the 7 points to try and get that draw effectively at that point in time. And that's great credit to them. And I think I'm very proud to work with them, because a lot of people were writing us off. And led very well by this man.
Do you think, therefore, you've earned the respect of the Kiwi public, which you may not have had before you came in?
My concern very much is firstly with the players being proud of their efforts themselves, and I think they should be. I think they are, and I think they should be. And England Rugby Sports having a team they can be proud of. And my job is to keep making sure I help this team develop. I think we've got a lot of work to do. I don't shy away from that. But we're looking forward to that challenge of improving.
Steve, those comments you sort of say you've been told, they come from a certain history of All Blacks rugby, All Blacks dominance. Do you think we're in a new normal now, where the All Blacks are going to be consistently, closer to the pack than they were for?
I think one of those things is we're a brilliant country to come and tour in, that you have that passion for rugby. I think we've thoroughly enjoyed. We've been here just under 3 weeks, and it's been a phenomenal few weeks here. I think the players, the whole management team have loved being in this fabulous country, and to have people so passionate about this incredible sport, it's brilliant. Obviously in England we have that passion, but we're also there's a lot of other competing sports there. So to have it here I think it's been a brilliant experience, and a lot of guys have never been to New Zealand before, so for many it's the first time, and I think they've relished it, and they're going to be better and players, stronger characters for it.
Steve, can I just ask about how you were playing at the World Cup to how you're playing now? Is quite a dramatic change. Are you ahead of where you hoped? Was this always the intention? And do you see this, the way you're trying to attack, is that going to keep going? Is that going to keep evolving?
I think.
So we're just going to do that one, then you, Dan. No.
Okay. So firstly, the way we played and the team we had at the Rugby World Cup was a different team, and we had to put that together very quickly to try and make us competitive at the World Cup. And you'd say through all the hard work of everybody involved, the team were very competitive, very close to being in the final of that World Cup. The team's since changed. There's different strengths within the team. There's different personnel within the team, and we're on a path of growth, and I think this is the direction we will continue to go in. I'll say, you asked me were you ahead. I don't ever put limits on the team. I want to keep pushing and how quickly we can improve. So I know the direction we're going, I know where we're going to aiming for, but I don't put any limits, because then I think that'd be foolish of me. I think these guys are just so eager to get better, and I want to see how good they can be.
Just in the context of the 13-month season, can you give an assessment of Marrow's performance tonight?
So maybe do you want to say? I'll
Yeah,
call you.
I've worked with Mara for a very long time. I think he's come under, a huge amount of criticism recently, and for him to come out and perform like this at the end of a very, very long season is testament to the sort of character that he is, the sort of player that he is. He is genuinely world class, and I don't say that lightly. I think, you guys obviously see everything that he does on the field, but for me as a captain, and I'm sure for Steve as a coach, to have a player like him who is so meticulous with his preparation and his leadership is a huge credit to us, and we're really lucky to have him.
Would you like to stay for a third test? Or is it time to go home?
Well, I think the fixture list is in place. There is no third test. That next game will be at Twickenham in November. I will reiterate how much we have loved being in New Zealand, how we've been welcomed in New Zealand, and even the stopping on the street, it's done in a good manner. The lift, and getting trapped in the lift and having a commentary, it's done in a good manner of passionate New Zealand supporters. I think we will grow from having been down here. Our young guys will be better players for coming having played New Zealand in New Zealand. No bigger challenge. So I'm thankful to the New Zealand public for welcoming us so much, and I think the players, I'm hoping, have made a positive impression from their rugby, but also the way they have been and the way they've helped with different community interests, the way they've been so open to young supporters. So I think hopefully we've left a positive impression of English rugby here as well.